Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for, this is your bonus reading for the end of the year here. We're just going to look and see what is going on in your general energies in this first row. You have the Rhino Spirit, and it says overcome any obstacle. And you also have the Four of Wands. I love the Four of Wands in rows that talk about overcoming obstacles because the Four of Wands is a card of freedom in being set free, even though it is a card of marriage, which there's definitely love showing up here so already in your reading. But, beyond love, it's really a card of freedom. And it's also kind of like a card of accomplishment as well. I always say that this kind of looks like a finish line to me, this Four of Wands. And, it kind of can represent completion, so it has completion energy, meaning that you're completing some sort of project or business or, could be anything that you're kind of wrapping up. And it looks to me like you're moving on to, kind of like bigger and better things. So I definitely like to see that for you here, Virgo. But let's see. Every single person, by the way, has had the Tower in their last row. So either in this or one of the other decks I'm using. So pretty interesting. Definitely could be, again, I think we're going to see a lot of global Tower moments between now and like 2033. So there you go. But I feel like you're overcoming obstacles. I feel like you need to stay focused as well with this card. Like keep your eye on the prize or keep your eye on some sort of thing. I'm also getting something about a ritual popping into my head as well, which is weird. It's like you could be completing some sort of ritual, but it might not be like magical. It could be a magic ritual that you're completing, but it could be something different. Like, it's kind of popping into my head as like going to school, right? It's not really a ritual, but it kind of is because you're going through something to get a certificate or a certification or something like that. So I feel like if you're doing that, by the way, this is saying like keep your eye on the prize and keep going. You're about to see the end, right? You're about to get what you've been waiting for. You have the Four of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. I definitely feel that there could be a fellow Earth sign. You have Earth, Water, and you also have the King of Wands, which is a fire sign, is what I'm trying to spit out here. There definitely could be any one of those signs coming in for you. Taurus stands out to me, Leo. Could be any water sign, any earth sign, doesn't matter. But you have the Four of Wands here. Four of Wands, of course, is a card of marriage, but it is a card of celebration. And I'm also getting something about luck here. I'm getting a lot of stuff for you if you can't tell, Virgo. Nobody's reading has been so busy. Like, I even feel like saying busy, busy, busy. So no one else has had anything like that. So I feel like very zippy, busy little bee type of energy. You're doing a lot. I feel like you're making a lot of moves at this time as well. And the interesting thing is again, I don't really see much in the way of obstacles. There's like some tiny little things, but for the most part, I feel like you're very focused. I feel you know exactly what you want to do, and I would just keep doing what you're doing. I am getting like, if I was being super, super picky here, I would say like, don't be afraid of making mistakes here. It's like you might be working on some new projects in work or business is what I can see here. And, maybe you're not sure if you're doing things exactly right. And I feel like this is saying, don't worry about it. Like make the mistakes, learn from what you're doing, figure it out, and you're going to be very, very successful. You have the Page of Pentacles here. Definitely a new person. This is coming up in the first row, which is technically my past position, the way that I read. Even though these rows each mean something different, doesn't matter. Technically, this is the past, so this could be someone that you've already met as far as love is concerned. And I do feel like things are a little bit slow right now. Is this a bad thing? I would say no. I would just say, like, don't rush the situation. Knight of Pentacles is, like, a little bit cautious. So I think it's either you, because you are an earth sign, so it could be you that's being cautious, but it could also be this person. I also feel like this is a new person, Virgo, I do feel that this person will be, like, a little bit cautious. So if you're meeting someone new at the end of the year here, or even, like, the beginning of next year, I think you could meet this person anywhere over the next 6 months or so, that they might be a little bit cautious, a little bit slow, but, I think it's based off of past experience. Let's see, I feel like this person has certain principles as well, like in love, like certain, kind of like morals, or I don't know, it's popping to mind as principles, so, there you go. With the Four of Wands, you have this eccentricity card. Nothing is going to go according to plan, and I mean that in the best way possible. I feel that this is saying, like, anything you're doing, you just be open to being spontaneous, but I also feel like you could be creating things that are eccentric. You could be creating things in work or business that have never been done before, and I think that's true for everyone. We're entering into the time of Aquarius. Pluto is going to move into Aquarius next year. It's going to retrograde out, but doesn't matter. It's going to officially move in 2024 or whatever. And, Pluto in Aquarius is kind of like the start of the Aquarian energy that I feel that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of our lives, basically. So anything weird, innovative, eccentric, new, if you can do things that have never been done before in work and business and love, doesn't matter. Those are going to be very successful things. With the Page of Pentacles, you have this bluff card. I feel like people, for some of you, it's like I get this thing. It's like popping into my head as a point of pride. Like those are the words that are popping into my head, where something is a point of pride for you. It's like maybe I have a very weird story popping into my head. Maybe you told people that you were going to do something years ago and you still haven't done it yet. I feel like there's a point of pride here where it's almost like you're proving something to people. Very weird. Feels like totally separate from the reading, which is interesting as well. So it's like maybe you told people you were going to build a business years ago and you never did it. And it's like now you're doing it. And I feel like there's something here about it says bluff. I don't really think you're calling anyone's bluff, but it's like there's something here about needing to prove things to people. I don't know. It's popping into my head. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have this drama card. Yeah, I feel like if you're attracting a person or you have dealt with a lot of drama or they have dealt with a lot of drama, so if you're dealing with new love, I feel like this person just wants to make sure that they're not going to enter into something that is full of drama. Next, for the biggest change that you could be experiencing in your life, you have this full moon in Taurus. It says detoxify on it. I literally feel some of you could be getting healthier. I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but I think some of you could be watching your health, could be making complete changes to your diet as well. We do have Mars retrograde, and I always say, Mars retrograde is actually a pretty good time to look at your diet or your health and make changes, as long as you're not overexerting yourself, as long as you're not overstressing something. So, I feel that, but I do feel like you could be getting rid of a toxic energy in your life in general. You have these Seven of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Sun here. The Sun is something that detoxifies, right? The sun sterilizes things that it touches. It is the best disinfectant, as they say, right? Whether that's true or not doesn't matter. So I feel like the truth could be being exposed in a situation, but it's not like someone has been lying. Yes, you have the Seven of Swords, but, to me, the Seven of Swords is a good card. It is a golden card. All golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive. Seven of Swords is really a card of tactics. It's not really, it is a card of lying, cheating, stealing. It can definitely represent that, but really, it's a card of tactics if you want to be super technical about it, and I do. So there you go. But what I would say is, number one, you could be learning the truth about someone lying, and it's like that being brought to light could be the thing that detoxifies something from your life. For others, it could be like an inner truth as well. I see some of you could be walking away from relationships that you've been in for a long time. You could be kind of, I have so many weird stories popping to my head. Like I said, very busy reading. You could be finding out that people have done good things for you as well. You could be finding out that people have stuck up for you in situations, or, people have always been, there are people who've always been there for you. And it's like, you're learning who's right and who's wrong. I feel like you're learning who the real ones are with the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is a card of permanence. It's like the card of establishment, things that stay in your life. And I really feel that some of you could almost be discovering who the people that have staying power in your life are, but not only just people, but things as well, like jobs, businesses, careers, if you have those things. And you're really getting very kind of, focused in on that. And I feel like this is a good thing. This also could be a Taurus if you're dealing with a Taurus. Again, the Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing. Again, I don't really see it that way for you. I see it more as the truth. And again, that could be part of it. Obviously, if you went through that, then it would make sense for you. But for most of you, I just feel like this is talking about being more authentic, living your own inner truth. And by doing that, that's what's kind of detoxifying your life. That's the thing that is improving your life significantly, is that you feel like you're more living in your truth. That's kind of where I see this going for you, Virgo. Let's see. With the Seven of Swords, you have this excitement card. See, The golden cards are positive, and I feel like you're very excited about changes that you're making. He also has polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot represent needing to be more playful. I am getting that, like in work or business, that you could be adding more, like more playful elements to what you're doing. I feel like that's going to be a good thing, of course. With the King of Pentacles, you have this endurance card. Love it. Endurance is like the ability to last. And I feel that this is saying if you have a person entering into your life, I feel this is going to be probably a permanent connection. King of Pentacles literally is my card of like a permanent connection in love. And you have this endurance card. So definitely someone who has a lot of endurance, this is what you could be attracting into your life. I also feel that for those of you that are like working on a project, like a work or business, this is something you're probably going to be doing for a very long period of time. And again, that is this card, for whatever reason, even though it has a lion on it and has the sun on it, it is the sun in Scorpio, but I do feel some of you could also be attracting a Leo. With the sun, you have the power card. A lot of people getting stuff like this, like sun, power. I do feel a lot of us could be kind of gaining more power or influence. But again, as I always say, we have, all this Aquarius energy coming up, Pluto moving into Aquarius mostly. And it's like attention. It's like pretty much everyone is going to become their own little star, as I love saying, because Aquarius is a star card. So it's like, how can you get positive attention? How can you, if you really want to gain power in life, which some people think is a bad word. I don't think it's a bad word if you're using it correctly, right? If you want to gain power or influence in life, it's like I would be doing it through inspiring other people, doing things for other people, doing good things, right? And you'll gain power. But I do feel like you could be gaining power here. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio as well. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this orphaned card and the soulmate card. I feel like some of you feel like you lost a soulmate in the past, but after that, I feel like there's someone new coming in for you, someone who actually has the key to your heart. So I feel like you're letting go of past, soulmate traumas, and you could be meeting someone new. Both of these cards are 5, by the way. 5, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. So there could be something with the number 5. It is popping into my head. I'm not big into numerology or any of that, but, it could be someone who's born on the 5th, could be in 5 days, 5 weeks. Something about 5 is popping into my head here for sure. But I do feel there could be like a soulmate coming in. If you don't want love, by the way, I feel that this is just an opportunity that is like a perfect match for you. You have the 2 of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the 4 of Cups. A lot of disappointments. I feel you've had disappointments in the past. And it's like almost, I see you, it's like there's one thing in each one of these cups, is how I'm seeing this 4 cups here, Virgo. And it's almost like each one thing is like one thing that you've learned from each relationship, which is very interesting. And so I feel like these are the disappointments. This is like something new that's coming in for you. And you're saying like, it's almost as if you're saying, do I really want another lesson? And I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. And like, here it is right here, right? This Knight of Cups with the cup. So intuitively, I feel like each one of these cups is a lesson that you have learned. What's weird is I think most people learn maybe like 20 lessons, or who knows, a bunch of lessons from like one person. But I feel like you focused in on like the most important thing that you learn from each person. I actually think this is a good thing. It's like you're really focused on exactly what you need to learn so that you can heal, so that you can attract something much better. And, someone is conflicted here. If you're dealing with love, I feel that someone is conflicted. It's like they're not a yes, they're not a no. It could be you, like I said. That's like, it's not a yes, it's not a no. I'm just kind of trying to figure this out. I actually feel like it could be a soulmate. And again, I don't think we have to be with anyone, by the way, or whatever. Tarot can't control your life. This is just loose advice at best, as I always say. But what I would say is I do feel this would be a very good person for you. So it's like I feel they really will and do want to plant seeds and, kind of grow a future. King of Pentacles, they want something permanent. So, that could be, what's going on here. Definitely like a knight in shining armor coming in for you. I feel like this person's learned a lot of lessons as well. But there could be a little bit of an obstacle. You can see here on the 2 of Swords that she's kind of like protecting her heart. I do feel if you're meeting a person that they could be, either it's you or them. Again, take it how it resonates. Someone in this situation is protecting their heart. Could be both of you, because I can't even like pick up on one person. So it's probably both of you. And I feel like you both need to see that there's like an opportunity over here. Sometimes I feel with the 2 of Swords that island behind her is like what I call a third place. A third place is kind of like most of our issues in life, we think like this side, that side, right? But a third place is something that's like up here, that exists somewhere else where maybe we aren't sure what it is. But I almost feel there's like a third place solution for you if you're kind of healing or if you're kind of hesitant. Sorry, something is jamming into my shoulder here and it's driving me crazy. But it's almost like there's a third place solution, something that could work for both people if it's two people. Maybe you're wanting to start a business, but you don't have the money. It's like almost like there's like a third place solution to anything you're doing. With the Two of Swords, you have this influence card. There could be a certain influence in this connection. For some of you, it's like maybe if you're dealing with a person who has children, for example, it's like obviously children, or maybe they have an ex or something that they have children with, and there's kind of like distance between the two of you. There might be some work that needs to be done here, but I definitely feel that it's possible, is what that's saying, for sure. With the Knight of Cups, you have this optimism card, right? I feel like if you're just positive, I know it sounds cheesy, but if you're just positive, I feel things will work out very, very well for you here, Virgo. So I would go for it. I would also focus on the positive with this energy as well. With the Four of Cups, you have this principle card. Didn't I say the word principles at the beginning of the reading? I'm pretty sure I did. I feel like someone here in this connection has very strong, like, principles. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not like I don't think they're like traditional in relationships, but I do feel like they have certain ideas about like what they're willing to accept. The funny thing is, I think that's what attracts you to this person, is that they're very much not willing to put up with crap. It's kind of like one of those things, right? You ever attract a person and they just kind of say yes to everything you say? It's kind of like you're like, okay, I don't like this person. I feel like this person, they have like certain, scruples. They have balls, right? They kind of, they know what they're willing to accept in life, and I feel like they're willing to say no. They're not just like a people pleaser, right? They're just not, and all that other stuff, and I feel like it makes them more attractive, actually, and I do feel like they're an attractive person. But they have certain principles. There's something here about your principles as well. I feel like you need to stick to your principles or follow your principles. Like maybe you have silly little rules like about money or something like that. I feel like those rules are going to pay off big time in the future. So if you have any like rules, or if you think certain things are lucky in your life, I don't know, I'm getting like all these weird signs and symbols. Like sometimes I think we think if we do something it's lucky, and then it actually is because we think that it is. I would like do that. Remember, isn't it weird? I said something about kind of like a ritual at the beginning of the reading as well. I'm wondering if there's a connection there. Like maybe you have certain rituals before you go close a business deal, or maybe you have certain rituals that you believe make you lucky in love or whatever. I would do it because I feel like it actually is working. You have this moon card that says cycles change, and you also have this mountain that says challenge achievements. There's definitely a challenge to overcome here, but again, you have the overcoming obstacles with that card says overcome any obstacle on the Rhino Spirit, so I feel like your obstacles are actually achievements, and maybe that's how you need to look at them. I feel like you're changing a big cycle in your life, like, like a never-ending story. You have that never-ending story card, and I feel this is saying, like, maybe for 20 years, every single relationship you've been in has been exactly the same. I feel like that's a cycle you're entering. Maybe for 20 years, your money story, your financial story has been exactly the same. I feel like you're changing something that has been the same for a long time. That's the cycle that's coming to an end. Thank God, right? You have the King of Wands, the Five of Cups, and the Tower. The King of Wands, the card of being bold, being assertive, really taking the lead. By the way, this is the area of messages from your future self. So I feel like your future self wants you to embrace the energy of the King of Wands. He's very bold, assertive. He really goes for what he wants. He's very confident as well. Even if he's not confident, he is. So even if he's entering into a situation where he feels like he doesn't know, he's willing to learn. He's willing to figure it out. He puts in the energy. And that's what I feel like your future self wants you to do. I feel like your future self wants you to be willing to build something as well, because, to me, he's like the true builder of the tarot. He's willing to kind of like work on things and figure things out. And that's what I would do there. You have the Five of Wands. I feel like your future self wants you to avoid conflict. But again, Mars retrograde, I would avoid conflict at all costs until like April of next year. So we got a good amount of time. We're going to be in the shadow until like the middle of March, right? So you might as well just say April, so avoid conflict until April is what I would say here. I know that's a long time, but it's really not that hard. You also have the Tower. Again, every single person I think has had the Tower. Again, this keeps happening. I think we're going to see a lot of Tower moments in the world. Doesn't really surprise me, probably involving conflict or fighting. So, I would just keep your head on straight is what I would say. With the King of Wands, you have this egotism card. I would be careful of anyone who has an ego in your life, especially if you have a person who has an ego who's trying to like influence your life. I would avoid that. and I feel like your future self wants you to do that. With the 5 wands, you have this intuition card. See, I feel like you're getting intuitions that go against the narrative is literally what's popping into my head. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here or anything, but what I would say is it's like people might say things to you and you're just like, no, like I feel like you don't trust something here, like a lot in the future. Like I feel like people could be saying things to you, but it's like you think the opposite of what everyone else is thinking. I would just like, trust your intuition is what I'm going to say. I think you're right, and you're going to be proven right in the future, but it's like, I feel there could be a lot of moments where you just kind of like sense that things are the opposite or whatever, and that's exactly what I would be doing. I keep telling people, be careful of overreactions, for the rest of your life, basically, but really until 2033 or so. We have a lot of overreactive energy, I think, where people could freak out about something. It could be anything. I'm not making any statements here, and it could be anything, and it's just an overreaction. So I would be careful of that. I've been talking about this since 2016. With the tower here, you have this concentration card. Yeah, I would stay concentrated. Again, it's kind of funny because I think I said to Pisces that I kind of got the feeling of this like sky is falling moment, right? Where it's like, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. So maybe people are screaming, the sky is falling, but maybe it's not, right? And so I feel like you need to stay concentrated. No matter what's going on around you, maintain your focus, right? With that concentration card, because I think there could be a lot going on that is distracting. Again, very busy reading as well, so I'd pay attention. We're going to pull 6 of these oracle cards, and these are just gonna be additional messages from now till the end of the year. You have this let go. It says, really let go. There's something better on the horizon. So if you're holding on to something from the past, or even recent, I wouldn't hold on to it. You cannot make this up. It says you are creating a you that you will be proud of. I do feel there's something about your principles changing, or kind of embracing certain principles that make you who you are. Definitely, I see changes in business or like work, whatever you do for work and how you present yourself. Whatever the hell that means for you, Virgo, it's changing. I said that earlier. You also have this card, be careful who you take advice from. Again, we literally talked about this. I would trust your intuition. I feel that there are several moments that you just don't trust where, you just kind of have that hunch where you're like, I don't trust this. Could be words from a person, could be advice from a person. I would trust that. I would also look to your principles as well, right? I think we all should have principles, but maybe you have maybe you're like working with a person and maybe you have a principle or rule that you don't work with people who talk negatively about other people. So it's like if you're dealing with a person who's like talking negatively behind someone's back, you might not want to work with them, right? This is what I'm talking about. That's just like one example. I feel there are many that you should be listening to. It's like in relationships. Maybe you find out your friend is like cheating on their spouse and maybe you're against that, right? And no judgments here, but maybe it's a principle and maybe you just don't need that influence. You have that influence card in your life. You have this legal card. It says dealings with a legal issue or life lesson. Didn't we say something about learning a bunch of lessons with the 4 cups? I think that's happened. This says a karmic debt has been paid. So I feel like some sort of karmic debt has been paid here and things are balancing out. You have this odd jobs card. It says creating multiple streams of income. I don't really see you doing that, Virgo, if I'm being honest with you. I do, but in a different way. It's like, it's like you're diversifying the business you already have. So if you have a business, I feel like you probably are setting up, multiple streams in the sense that you're doing different things. I feel like you have different stuff going on, if that makes sense, where you're, setting up maybe like a new product or I don't know, like maybe you're adding consulting on or something like that. You're doing something different. Some of you could also be like having a job and getting a side hustle going. You have this unreliable card. It says you are struggling with finishing things that you start. I actually don't think that's true because I feel, didn't we talk about this at the beginning of the reading, how it's almost like you're not really revisiting something, but I feel like you're kind of like finishing something that you've been working on. Definitely. So that's that, Virgo. We're going to pull 3 cards now. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your question, but I'm going to answer one question. If you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm just going to put all the cards together at the end and do like a personalish reading. So I'm going to read the cards right now. You have the Death card, the Empress, and the 8 of Pentacles. Definitely a lot of success coming in for you here. I feel that for some of you, you're wondering if you should walk away from something and move towards something new. Hell yes, definitely. Tons of abundance here. I also feel like there's a big change going on in your finances. Again, I see you like, it's kind of weird. I see you like really, let's say you have a certain goal financially in mind. And maybe it took you, maybe you want to make like $10,000 a month. Maybe you already do. Maybe it took you like 10 years to be able to get to that number. And it's like the next number that you have, I feel like it takes you like 10 months. It's like a tenth of the amount of time that it took you the first time. Like that's the type of energy that I get here. And it's not because things are happening quickly. It's because you've prepared yourself for this. It's like Eight of Pentacles, hard work. So I feel like you've done the work to make this happen. But it's like things are happening faster, especially in your finances. Damn. I love this reading for you, Virgo. This looks amazing. So thank you for being here, Virgo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.